fall. It's week 14. We're close to the end of the semester. Last week we talked about creative problem identifying, and that being able to anticipate, pinpoint, and understand problems and where they emerge is sometimes just as important as solving them. This week we're going to focus on creative problem solving. I had a set of readings and cases and sparks ready to go. I had the script for a mini lecture ready to go, and I decided to scrap all that because I would prefer that this week you focus on Creativity Quest 4 and you work on the 2 creativity exposure assignments for class if you haven't gotten started on them already, or if you've only done one of the 2. As you're working on Creativity Quest 4, I'd suggest you do 3 key things this week. First, choose which of the 6 options you want to pursue. There are 6 options for completing Creativity Quest 4. You only have to do one of them. Second, go back through our readings, materials, cases, sparks, skim through pack posts. Try to identify a tool or 2 that you can use to work toward the option for Creativity Quest 4. Finally, go back through our class readings, materials, cases, and sparks to try to identify 2 or 3 key ideas from class that you want to integrate into what you produce for Creativity Quest 4. I think if you do these 3 things, you're going to be well on your way to drafting and finishing the assignment. In this brief video, I'm going to talk about creative problem solving. We're in the midst of a nationwide, worldwide problem-solving context, the likes of which I've never seen, and you probably never seen, and hopefully never will see again in your lifetimes. You've all posed some excellent related questions to Packback. Melinda and Michael R. both asked, has the COVID-19 outbreak sparked any creative entrepreneurial ideas for anyone? Jacob W. asked, how will COVID affect where things are manufactured? And how will they be distributed? How will these things change in the coming weeks and months? Apoorva asked, how long will it take startups to get back into business after the pandemic dies down? Erniqua asked, do you think it'll be hard for entrepreneurs to bounce back from the pandemic? And Alyssa asked, what ways will future entrepreneurs use the coronavirus pandemic to create new and innovative ways to avoid future disaster? I hope you're finding and seeing and supporting small businesses and larger businesses as best you can in your communities during this context. I wanted to share just one example from near Lansing, Michigan, just a bit east in Williamston, and that's 141 Design Company. They've been selling wood and paint craft kits on their website. Every morning out front of the store, they have a full pickup table for people to pick up the kit or kits that they brought. And they're engaging people in various physically distanced ways via Facebook. Right now, for instance, Easter is this Sunday. They're doing a virtual Easter egg hunt. They're selling egg painting kits and encouraging folks to put the eggs somewhere outside so that others can look for them safely, of course, from a distance. To pan back to our class readings and creative problem solving, we read a chapter by Edward Lumsdaine and Martin Binks last week about creative problem identification. In that book, they also have a chapter on creative problem solving. They describe the creative problem solving steps. I don't think there's just one problem solving model, but I'd encourage you all to lean on their approach and try it out in problem solving context. The first step is research and discovery about or around the problem. Spec out the different aspects of the challenge or problem. Ask questions like who does it affect, when, how, why, to what extent. The second step is analysis and interpretation. Review the data you've gathered, information you've collected, and what you know about the problem and its context. The third step is idea generation. Lean on the brainstorming approaches we've discussed earlier in class. The fourth step is experimentation and refinement, where you judge your ideas and try to hone in on one. Assess the ideas to see how feasible they are, what approaches would be required to launch them. Think about what it would look like if the approach was successful. And the fifth step is action plan and implementation, which is putting a solution into action. Lumsdaine and Banks describe 2 problem-solving personality types, the explorer and the detective. Explorers tend to be more value-anchored and intuitive and rely on interpersonal and emotional information. Detectives tend to be more systematic and focus on identifiable details and evidence. We've also read some of Thomas Vogel's work this semester. In his book, Breakthrough Thinking, he describes 5 different creative problem-solving approaches. I really like the Osborne and Parnes model because it's pretty realistic. You have a mess. You have to find your way through the mess. Once you have a handle on the mess, you engage in fact finding, you do research, you read books, you read articles, you watch videos, you watch people, you ask questions and more. Then you can focus in on identifying what the problem really is. Once you've done that, engage in brainstorming, focus on one or two to orient toward a solution, and then move into getting people to accept your idea so you can test it, refine it, and try again. And recursivity is really important here. I don't think these 5 phases happen step 1, step 2, etc. Rather, we go back and forth across these as we work. Thomas Vogel further unpacks Osborne and Parnes' model into 3 distinct moves: fact finding, idea finding, and solution finding. So those are some problem-solving tools from class readings and beyond. Again, this week, no readings, no cases, no sparks. Work on creativity, quest 4. Work on your 2 creativity exposure write-ups. This is also a really good time to review our class syllabus to see how your final grade will be calculated and to take a look on D2L about how many points you have in class so far. And let me know if you have any questions. And let me know too if you have any questions as you get started on Creativity Quest 4. Next week is week 15, our last week of class, and we'll talk about continuing the creativity beyond this semester and beyond CAS AL 114.